Hey guys, this is Anand Shippy from AnandTech.com. We have Intel's next unit of computing, the NUC, or the model number on this particular box is the DC3217BY, so we'll stick with NUC. I don't usually do unboxing videos, but this one's kind of neat in that when you open it, you get the Intel theme. There's actually a photo sensor in here that when you cover it up, and then exposed to light, it triggers that. Now inside the box itself, it's pretty simple. We have the NUC. We covered this at IDF, but it's a 4x4 form factor, 4 inches by 4 inches. Got single USB up front, 2 on the back, HDMI, Thunderbolt, Kensington lock, and DC power input as well. And here's the power adapter. Also in the box, you've got just kind of a mounting bracket in case you want to, I guess, mount it on the back of a monitor. Now, this will ship for about $399 without any storage or Wi-Fi. It will come with the processor. It's a Core i3 in here. So Intel sent along the mSATA version of Intel's SSD 520. This is a SandForce-based mSATA SSD. SandForce is particularly useful in the small form factors because they don't require an external DRAM. Also got the Centrino Wireless 6235. So this is a dual antenna 802.11n solution from Intel, and it'll fit into a half-height mini PCIe slot, which we'll find inside in a second here. There are a bunch of screws on the bottom here, 4 main ones underneath what look like where feet would go. It's just standard Phillips screws. Four loosened. Now I've got to loosen this one a little more. Take the back plate off, and then that reveals the NUC itself. So here you've got the 2 slots, mini PCIe, as well as the mSATA slot, 2 SODIMM slots for memory, and then I'm assuming underneath all this we'll find the CPU and stuff. So the 4 screws that hold the motherboard in place with it out, we'll look at the motherboard in a second here, you see the 2 antennas. They're actually routed here, one over here, one over here, and this top is plastic, giving it RF transparency. And that's kind of the bulk of the bottom of the chassis. This little cutout here is actually for the heatsink and fan unit on the machine itself. So it's not passively cooled. I mean, this is still a dual-core Ivy Bridge. But underneath here is where you find the CPU. Got battery for CMOS. I'm assuming this is maybe a reset for the CMOS battery itself. But the back of the PCB is pretty simple. Here's a better look at the front of the PCB. So 2 screws hold the fan in place. And you take that off, you see the kind of rest of the heatsink structure here. There's 1 screw here, 2 more here that we're going to pull out and then hopefully take the heatsink off. All right, so there's the heatsink. See, there's a heat pad up top for the chipset, and then a little bit of thermal paste on the bottom for the CPU itself. And here's a look at the bare chips. So you got the CPU on the bottom, chipset up north. Now eventually with Haswell that'll go down to a single chip, which will help save a little bit on PCB real estate. But there you have it. There's the NUC. There's the it's a full-blown computer right there. And it should be pretty powerful. Like this is, you go back 7 or 8 years and you're looking at something that's much, much faster than kind of a high-end desktop, at least in CPU performance, than what you'd be able to get back then.